think they changed.
All right. So over to you, Poonam. Take it away.
Sure thing. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We are very happy you all found time and you are here with us. We have a lovely agenda and the Catalyst team has worked hard to put the things together. So we are hoping the evening goes great for all of you. And we will be seeing, let me not start with Pradeepa because we do have an introduction slide later for her. But what is Lean in Agile for Women? Here we do have a platform. We try to work towards enabling diversity, inclusion, and adaptability, where we can have a platform, all the women can come together, and also men can get involved, wherever we are, we can include more people, we can help the women each other to step the bar and go from there. And we'll see more in the coming slides. So welcome to our PEP 2022 DMV Spiral event. If this is your first time, please do type in the chat, where are you dialing from? And what are our main expectations from this session? We would be monitoring the chat. Thanks, Padma. And usual meeting norms, attendance, the meeting is getting recorded already. We would be putting you on mute when the presenter is talking. Any questions, please type in the chat and feel free to ask any questions at the end of the presentation. We'll be happy to handle those. Here is our agenda. We will go over our Lean in Agile overview, offer seek overview. We will get to know more about it, the announcements, the feature presentation, and the Q&A round. Over to you, Padma.
Thank you. We have a video prepared for you. You can all still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Thank you. And can you hear? Can you hear the music?
No.
Okay, I need to share sound. Give me a moment.
My name is Padmini Nidubolu, and I'm the co-founder of Lean and Agile for Women, an initiative that was founded in 2018 with the premise to bring women across Agile spaces to come together, to support each other, to learn from each other, and to contribute to each other's success. It's an honor to have you all. It's a pleasure to host you on this platform. As you can see here, Lean and Agile is founded on the premise of enabling diversity, inclusion, and adaptability. We are proud to present the House of Lean and Agile, and this is enabled by the community. This is powered by the community. It stands tall on 4 pillars: Spirals, Her Story, Next Gen, and Women Inclusion Pledge. Spirals are the scaffolding support structure for all of us to come together and support each other, to learn and offer and seek in a psychologically safe environment. I love this visual where it truly shows the scaffolding and the support structure that is in place, that we all put in place for women to really walk to their path of success and their next steps. And if we don't support each other, who will? So thank you for joining us on these monthly forums. We really hope that we continue to sustain these spirals, and spirals are global and better yet virtual right now in the pandemic situation we are in, and we hope to continue the virtual forums eventually as well. Her Story is an initiative that was launched in 2019 to bring stories of 100 incredible women and their trials, their triumphs, and their journey towards where they are today. This is Leah 100. These are the first 50 women that we interviewed, and the interviews are published on our YouTube channel. Please do take a look. And these are incredible women who are contributing actively to the community and are making a difference. A special mention towards Jean Tobacco, who is not with us anymore, but her contributions live on. And
I'm
her
so sorry to interrupt, but we
contributions
can't
towards our
see the
community
video.
are tremendous. Special mention and special.
Sorry, say that again.
We cannot see the video. We are just seeing your, window
does stop right there.
Oh, I thought you could hear the sound. You could hear the sound?
Yeah, we could hear the sound, but we see your desktop.
I'm so
Sound is
sorry. Let's try it again. Share screen, screen 2, advanced, share audio. Yeah. Are you able to see the Leah 100 page?
yes, yes.
Now, yes.
Okay. Do you mind if I just start from the beginning? We have a lot of new joinees today.
Please do.
Okay, and let's test this again.
An initiative
Do
that
all of you
was
see Padmini
founded
on the
in
screen?
2018 with
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
And you can
premise
hear
to
the
bring
noise.
women
I mean the
across
voice.
Agile
Sounds, yes.
spaces to
Okay.
come together, to support each other, to learn from each other,
Apologize.
and to contribute to each other's success. It's an honor to have you all. It's a pleasure to host you on this platform. As you can see here, Lean and Agile is founded on the premise of enabling diversity, inclusion, and adaptability. We are proud to present the House of Lean and Agile, and this is enabled by the community. This is powered by the community. It stands tall on 4 pillars: Spirals, Her Story, Next Gen, and Women Inclusion Pledge. Spirals are the scaffolding support structure for all of us to come together and support each other, to learn and offer and seek in a psychologically safe environment. I love this visual where it truly shows the scaffolding and the support structure that is in place, that we all put in place for women to really walk to their path of success and their next steps. And if we don't support each other, who will? So thank you for joining us on these monthly forums. We really hope that we continue to sustain these spirals, and spirals are global and better yet virtual right now in the pandemic situation we are in, and we hope to continue the virtual forums eventually as well. Her Story is an initiative that was launched in 2019 to bring stories of 100 incredible women and their trials, their triumphs, and their journey towards where they are today. This is Leah 100. These are the first 50 women that we interviewed, and the interviews are published on our YouTube channel. Please do take a look. And these are incredible women who are contributing actively to the community and are making a difference. A special mention towards Jean Tabeka, who is not with us anymore, but her contributions live on, and her contributions towards our community are tremendous. Special mention and special honor for Jean Tabeka. These are the last 50 women, and some of these are published, but we are contributing towards the YouTube channel as we publish these interviews. Again, all these women are from across the world, incredible women who are doing incredible work and service to our community. Next Gen is an initiative that was launched to bring next generation Agilists, high schoolers, young women who are in undergrad, grad, just getting into the workforce, to shift their learnings to the far left, where we can bring them into the Agile ways of thinking much sooner than later. WIP, which is Women Inclusion Pledge, is a pledge that we strive for, that the organizations, the communities, the conferences, the forums take up, where they're intentional about including women, and not just women, really be diverse in their thought process, and be inclusive and include the diversity that is around it. I'd like to give a huge shout out and acknowledge the Spiral Catalyst team here. Myself, Padmini Nirumolu, I'm the co-founder here at Lean and Agile. Padma Putrevu, who is our global Spiral Catalyst. If you want to kick off a spiral anywhere in the world, please contact us. Padma will help you get started. Poonam Agarwal, who is our lead here in terms of, she leads various efforts and initiatives we have. She contributes towards making them stick. And we have Meenakshi Iyer, who is the founder of and principal of North Star Solutions and Services. She's a speaker, she's an enabler, and she contributes very actively and strongly to LEA initiative. Alona Matsela, who's a Women Tech Makers Ambassador. She's been here with LEA from the get-go, a very active member of the community and a contributor.
You're on mute, Padma.
Thank you, Poonam. What would I do without my wonderful spiral catalysts? Okay, so just to add a little bit of fun to our event today, we wanted to do a quick Mentee survey to see what does self-love look like for you, because that is the theme of this evening's event. So I'm going to share the link and post it in the chat. If you could all click on this link and answer this question, we could build a lovely visual with all of your input and see what emerges for us, and then we'll get into the announcements before we get into our feature presentation. And Pradeepa, welcome. I'm glad all your connectivity, the Zoom connectivity issues were solved and you're here, so thank you.
Very excited to be here.
Thank you. Respect. You can see the Mentee screen, right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We'll take one more minute and then move on, but feel free to continue to add your thoughts here, because this is going to be a very powerful visual. There is uniqueness and there is commonality. Looking for each other, accepting honest to myself, self-care, boundaries, honoring oneself. Respect is right there at the heart of it. Kindness to self. Okay, thank you. In the interest of time, we will move on, but we'll be sharing this with all of you. So, and we also have Joni joining us right at the time of announcements, which is wonderful. All right, I'm just going to move on.
Can we look at the visual just once, Padma? Looks like
Sure.
that is so
it's a very powerful visual. I'm like loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So just to kind of acknowledge what we have today, coming out very strong.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone wants to just call out something that just resonates with them, please do speak up.
I like to celebrate your strength big time. Sometimes we don't pay attention to that, so that's a good one.
I also love respecting our choices sometimes, and making maybe others also to respect them, to be stronger on that. I love compassion. We often show compassion to others and not always do it for ourselves.
Yeah, I like kindness to self. We are so critical and so harsh on ourselves sometimes. We all have to learn to be kind to not only each other, but our own selves.
That's true, so true.
Thank you.
Whoever put the acceptance there, kudos to them. I couldn't have thought of it, and it is so profound. It hit me hard, right? Accepting who we are as we are, right? I think that is a huge part of self-love. How can you love yourself if you don't accept, your own self? So that just stood out for me. Thank you, whoever put that. Thanking you.
For me, the word boundaries is speaking to me. It's speaking to me a lot today. Boundaries.
Boundaries, me as well. That's the one that I'm keying on.
Boundaries, because we need to set healthy boundaries. Is that why?
For
Yeah,
me,
it's also
go
is
ahead.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so easy to like cross boundaries sometimes when we are in the mode of like pleasing someone. It's so easy. So yeah, we always have to be on guard with our boundaries, I feel. So yeah, to begin with, have our boundaries and then watch our boundaries. It's very important. Yeah.
Journey.
Yeah, for me, very multidimensional boundaries, between commitments that I'm making, both at work and personally, and what I need to do for myself. So, boundaries to keep a healthy balance, and also boundaries. I mean, for everything that I'm trying to do with discipline, the boundaries, even what I eat, or how much sleep that I get, how all sorts of ways boundaries is speaking to me tonight.
Yes, I echo what Johnny mentioned. Should we move
to
on?
me, it's relaxation. Sorry.
Go ahead, Tess, please.
I think relaxing is so important, especially we're also caught up on things. We need to make, sure that whatever relaxation to you is, but, that's important to show true self-love.
Thank you. Yeah, can we go on to the next part of the thank you? But this was powerful. I think we needed that space to kind of dwell on the slide. So thank you, Padmini, for reminding us to pause with a purpose. All right, we will go back to and I'll get technology to talk to me. Are you all still seeing my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so for OfferSeek, for those of you who are new here, I hope I put the Trello board open. Give me a moment, please. We have a Trello board through which we fulfill our vision on OfferSeek, and the concept around OfferSeek is no seek is too big and no offer is too small. The whole idea of Leah and how we support each other and how we attain our vision is through OfferSeek, where we can help each other, be it a micro request for a 10-minute phone call or a quick resume review, to something maybe on an ongoing basis like coaching and mentoring, or something more intensive in terms of time and effort. So the whole idea is, how can we support each other with our small and big needs to raise the floor for each other and grow as a community, grow as a support system for each other. And the way our board is organized is that we have our offers in green and our seek is in orange. And we also have organized our offers and seeks in terms of self-care, domain knowledge for fun, productivity hacks, coaching and mentoring, job seekers corner, and our backlog. So if you're looking for something, put this in our backlog. And we do continuously look at our backlog to see how we can bring impactful events for our community and how we can support each other. And if you're wondering what a template looks like, this is a template. You add your name, what are you offering, what time are you available, how would you like to engage, Zoom or Google Meet, or you're comfortable putting your phone number out there, whatever. And then for folks who want to join your card, just click on the link join, and then the person who has placed the offer will get notified. And same thing with seek. What are you seeking? What's the time sensitivity around it, and what format? And then if somebody is able to help you with that, then by all means, connect and fulfill that for each other. Or it could be one way, and at some point it could be a bi-directional. However you want this to evolve, it is for you. This board is powered by you, and it is created for you, so use it to your advantage. That is about offer seek, and with that, I'll pause for questions before we get into announcements. Any questions with offer seek?
Can you please send the link in the chat for the offer seek?
Sure. I actually we'll have to invite you using your email ID. So we typically do it post event. We pull all the email IDs from Zoom and we send it out. But let me try. You bring up a good thing, and I always believe in lean. So I'm going to copy this link and post it in the chat. And who knows, if I get a request, I'll start accepting it. So let's try that. We've never tried that, but you bring up a good point. So this is our offer seek. All right. And Alona, I have a challenge for you to cover the announcements in 4 minutes so that we can start on time at 7 p.m. Are you up for the challenge, Alona?
Okay, we will cover it really quickly. Okay, so this is all of the sponsors which we have and diversity partners. So should we cover that as well right now?
No, we can move on to the next slide. But I did want to acknowledge that Joni is here, and IntelliBridge is one of our diversity partners. So thank you, Joni. Next.
Okay, so we in the announcements, we will have 3rd annual Future of Work virtual conference, which will be presented by North Stars Solution and Services from our catalyst, our dear own Meenakshi. This is a big undertaking, and there will be a lot of incredible information. So please check it out. Take your time, read on this. This will be March 19th to 26th, so on the weekends. Please check agenda and all of wonderful speakers which will be in this conference. And also, we will be celebrating International Women's Day 2020, of course, and our event will be, as usual, on Thursdays, March 3rd, from 6 till 8, so a little bit longer, so we can have fun and celebrate as well. So we will have a little bit more time to chat, and also we will have incredible speakers in the panel. So please join us. Let's celebrate it together. Let's celebrate our wins. Let's ask questions and grow together. Okay, and so we have Upgrade Knowledge Hut gives 25% discount on all training and courses. So please use the opportunity and check this out use that to your advantage. We really appreciate Upgrade Knowledge Hut for giving opportunity to all of our community, all of our LEA members to get the discount on the training and courses. Our global events calendar is located on that link, on this link, Lean and Agile Spirals. And also we will be sending out in the email after the event in the following days. We will include this information as well, so you will be able to see all of upcoming events so you don't miss them. So we also will include free events and online resources. There is a lot of free online resources, wonderful, useful. So please review all of them. Something might be useful, something maybe your friends will need and learn. So some free Coursera courses, Harvard courses, yoga. So it's for everything, for your mind, for your body, for your soul, for your happiness. So everyone can find something useful in there. Okay, and if anyone is interested in speaking engagements, please let us know. Contact Lean in Agile, leaningagile.org, and also Agile Professional Meetup. Contact Matthias Nino. Also via DC, they often helped all of the new speakers to take the step to train and start doing the speaking performances. So if you want to try, they will assist you as well. So please contact them. And we also have call for papers by Agile Alliance. Here's the link below. If you're interested, please use this link. Okay, and if you want to stay connected, we would love that. So we have a Slack channel, Trello, Trello board link you will receive post-event in the email, the Star in Me, Lean in Agile website, and all of the social media on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, as you joined, many of you joined from the meetup, so you would be able to continue seeing the updates there as well. Okay, and today our favorite topic, loving myself and you. Sometimes we forget to do that, and we're getting reminded. Our life reminds us about it. So let's listen to incredible speaker, and I will let to go for the introduction. It's Padmini, right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Over to you, Padmini.
Thank you, Alona. And it's a great honor and a pleasure to introduce Pradeepa. I've known Pradeepa for about 3 years, and it's incredible to know her, and I've been following her work on social media, and you know, you'll find out why it is very gratifying experience just listening to her and understanding where she's coming from, her point of view. Pradeepa is an executive and leadership coach. She's a life coach as well. In fact, when Alona was saying sometimes we need to be reminded to love ourselves, I was like, there is a self-love coach right here. And that is what, that is who Pradeepa is. And her philosophy, as you can see here, is truly to let others dream big and achieve that dream. And also encouraging each one of us to, you know, dream first and then dream big. Her clients' transformation not only help them achieve their goals, but the effect also spills over. And in fact, Pradeepa shared a client's note this afternoon on Facebook, and it was a great, it was a wake-up call to see that, and I'll let Pradeepa share about it, but it was a beautiful account from one of our clients. Pradeepa loves to speak on topics around leadership, empowerment, self-love, transformation, and more. She's the author of 2 books. One of the books is Loving Myself and You, the topic that we are discussing today. And she's also a TEDx speaker. And more information can be found at pradeepa.coach. And she's very active on LinkedIn and other social media channels. So I highly recommend following her. She has great snippets of wisdom that you know, she shares very often. Don't miss them. And Pradeepa, over to you. It's an honor to have you on this platform, and many of us can use the inspiration and the strength that you're going to share with us today. Thank you, Pradeepa, for saying yes to being here. Over to you.
Thank you, everybody. It's such an incredible honor. You know, it's such an incredible honor to be here with all of you today. And when Padmini reached out to me, I believe early January, right? She asked me, like, Pradeepa, we want to welcome you to this forum, and what would you like to speak? I don't know, right? Like, you know, there's so many things that I would like to speak on, but somehow our conversation led into talking about the book, and I shared, how about I come and speak about love? Right, so she went back to her wonderful team, you know, Padma, Meenakshi, Poonam, and Lona, right? And said, like, Pradeepa, we have an idea. How about you come and speak with us in February, which is celebrated as the month of love across the world, right? What an incredible idea. And, you know, I was like super thrilled about that. And this is such an honor to be here, and I'll tell you why. One, I love empowering women. That's a focus area for mine. Okay? Even though when I announced this meetup that I'm going to be speaking, I did invite many of my male colleagues and friends as well. And I told that, hey, I have special permission. They keep asking me like, okay, it seems like a women's meetup. Should I come or not? I don't know how many of them are here, but nevertheless, right? That's an area of focus for me these days. How do I uplift women? Doesn't matter where they are in their life, where they are in their journey, where they are in their career, right? And like Padmini mentioned, I wrote a book about my own journey and about my own growth recently. And the theme of that book kind of eventually evolved. And when I saw that, like what it is that is evolving into, it was all about how do I know somebody said like in the Mentee activity that we did, acceptance, right? How do I accept myself, right? And to me, it's beyond acceptance, right? It's not just accepting myself. And that's why I went above and beyond and said like, okay, what's more than accepting, right? Accepting is just at the lower level for me, right? For me, beyond acceptance is truly embracing it. Right? Embracing for me is, I am it and it is me. I am it and it is me. It's not like a part of me that I put it in a box and say, these are my flaws and I'm just going to accept it. Because acceptance comes from the fact, this is again my own perspective, acceptance comes from the fact that it's there, I see you, maybe I acknowledge you, but I'm not comfortable. Okay? For me, when I think about loving myself and really embracing every part of me, it doesn't matter which part of me shows up at what moment. I'm truly embracing it. And not just accepting, but acknowledging it and celebrating it. That to me felt like incredibly powerful and liberating. And when I really realized that, what I saw was I started showing up even more powerfully. Because there was an aspect in me that kind of started saying, I don't care. Not in a mean way or an arrogant way. This is who I am. This is how I show up. It's the best part of me, it's the worst part of me, and everything in between. Right? And when I started thinking to myself that I don't care, it's not about I don't care about others. It's about me stepping into that embracing part even more. And that felt incredibly liberating. Right? And I've actually wrote a book. I know Padmini showed that. I just have a copy here in front of me. So feel free to check this out. Right? This book, even though I wrote it from the perspective of my own life and a lot of my own stories and things that I learned just by living my life so far. But many people who have read the book and shared their thoughts with me, they said like, Pradeepa, I see myself in this through your stories. Right? And of course, I wanted to get real here, go deep here. And that's why I said, Padmini, I am not going to do a presentation here. This is not Pradeepa talking to a bunch of women. No, I want to have a real conversation with you all. I want to go deep with you all. Right? There's no hiding here. There is no dilly-dallying. There is no, sugarcoating. Right? Because what I also realized is, if we can't have a real conversation about this, then how are we embracing it? Right? How am I embracing it? Right? So I wanted to thank each and every one of you here. Right? You could be doing a million other things this evening. Right? It's snowing today in Texas. By the way, I'm joining you all from Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's snowing here. Right? It's 21 degrees Fahrenheit. I could be very well, cozying up in my sofa and watching a movie with my son. Right? And I'm sure you all have other plans that can be even more exciting. I want to honor each and every one of you that chose to show up here. Right? Because I know that this matters to you. This topic matters to you. Right? There's something that kind of attracted you to this. And I appreciate that. And I'll just start with something, and then I want to hear from you. I want to have a conversation with you, like I mentioned. Many of you in that, when you chimed in about the Mentee poll, we talked about, right, like there was a lot of conversation around boundaries. Right? Like boundaries is very important, right? Sometimes I put, but am I really following that? Right? And there are many other things that really resonated with me, right? Like respect, right? Like how do I show gratitude to myself? How do I really own it? Right? And one of the things that I've personally seen, right? Especially, I coach a lot of women and men too, but generally in women that I coach, irrespective of which continent they come from, it doesn't matter. Which culture they belong to, it doesn't matter. One thing that I have seen this as a common pattern and theme, which I would love to hear your thoughts as well, is very critical of ourselves. Extremely critical of ourselves. Right? How do we move away from self-criticizing, right, to truly loving ourselves? Right? It's not a switch, I'll tell you. Right? I've been on my own growth journey for 7 years now, and it will continue. As long as I'm a coach, I will always be coached. Right? That's a commitment that I made to myself. That's a way of me showing love to myself. That's a way that I'm honoring myself. Okay? So it's not like an overnight switch. Just because I wrote a book about this doesn't make me that, like I'm immediately showing up as that. It was a journey for me, and it will continue to be a journey. And there's a lot of wake-up calls for me. Okay? So with that being said, I want to hear from any of you, right? What does that mean to you, self-love? I know you said that in like 1 or 2 words, but I want to talk to you about it even more. What does self-love mean to you? And the second question, the second part of that question is, what's stopping you right now to go all the way?
This is a safe space, so feel free to unmute yourself and speak. This is Leah. We are here to support each other.
I think I can probably just kick it off. I think it's the fear of judgment, honestly, because there is so much societal conditioning that we all have. And to truly love yourself and embrace it to the extent that you mentioned earlier, Pradeepa, right? I'm it and it is me. To be one with it, you need to show up as yourselves 100%. And I think most of us try to do that, try to be genuinely ourselves. But there is a part of us which always is hiding in the dark only because we are worried that it might not be accepted, we will be judged. So that might be the gap, at least from my perspective. I've experienced that.
Yeah, thank you, Padmini. That's beautiful what you shared, right? And I told you it's not like an overnight switch for me, and I will continue to grow here. And I want to share a small story from my own life, right? It took incredible courage for me to step outside that comfort zone, right? Like what you were talking about, because we are all comfortable in our own selves, and the part that we typically like to highlight is the part that we appreciate about it, ourselves, right? Like the things that are the good things about us. We are happy to show that, and we are proud of that, right? But what about the things that inside? There's a secret to everybody, right? We are all holding secrets, right? Whether we want to expose that or not, there is always something in there. And those are the judgments, right? It's not other people, right? In my own perspective, yes, I fear of other people's judgment, but I judge myself first, right? Padmini mentioned about my second book, which is Loving Myself and You. But before that, my first book, which actually became an Amazon bestseller, the name of the book is called Infertility Can Suck Less, right? That's the title of that book. And the reason why I wrote with that title is I struggled with fertility challenges for 12 years. And it truly sucked. Pardon my language, I'm going to swear a bit here, right? It truly sucked. And that was a part I could not expose. I told myself, what would other people think of me? How would they judge me? How would they see me? Somebody with faulty reproductive system, where it seems to be incredibly easy for many people in the world. But most importantly, it's not so much, yes, I was worried about what other people are thinking about this, or how would they see me? How would they judge me? Would they sympathize with me? Would they feel pity for me? But more importantly, I was judgmental of myself. I was ashamed. I was jealous of other people, my dear friends, my family, right? Who were much younger to me and got married, and they were able to very easily, start their family. And here, year after year, treatment after treatment, it's failure after failure for 12 years. And as for me, I like to solve problems and achieve. That's who I am as a person, at least, right? Like I thought that's who I am. When I couldn't achieve, when I couldn't solve this problem, and I don't have any control over it, I walked around with this big failure sign on my forehead. It may not be visible to other people, but it was so visible to me. It was so weighing me down. I never, ever in those 12 years, if you knew me back then, I never talk about my family. I never talk about my personal life. I like to be very cheery, like this bubbly personality, but guess what? Only I knew I was faking it. People wouldn't, if they're not too in tuned, they wouldn't find out. I was a pretty good actress. But I knew I'm faking it because it's not real me. I can't show up as real me because I was ashamed of that real me. Right? I was judging myself more so than my fear of what other people would judge of me. And that was so heavy to carry. Right? There's so many things that was reminding me that like why I can't have, like when other people were able to have their own family. Right? Even smaller things, when I go to a mall and I see a child playing, right? This constant reminders. Right? So while I was trying to hide something very, very well, something very incredible happened, right? Actually in 2016 in Atlanta, at the Agile conference. I'm a regular at the Agile conference. I speak and I volunteered once, and I've been track sharing that as well. In 2016, I had the opportunity to speak, and it was about listening, passionate listening. And there was a backstory why I wanted to talk about listening to this crowd. Because during my fertility struggles, the thing that I was so worried about, and I've always had this aspect of nobody is there to hear me. Right? Nobody can hear me in a way that I want to be heard. And in a different conference, somebody talked about this concept of passionate listening, and I was curious, like what is passionate listening? Listening with the same passion that you feel about wanting to be heard. Listening with the same passion that you feel about wanting to be heard. That was so powerful for me personally. Okay. So then I listened, then I realized I've been a victim to my fertility struggles all along, because I was the one who was wondering, like, nobody is there to listen to me. Everybody, this is so sorry for me. I'm incredibly feeling sorry for myself. And somehow that turned the switch for me that day. And then I realized I want to become a better listener. Right? And I started practicing that quite a bit, very focused. And then I ended up giving a session on it at the Agile conference. So before I start anything, I want to tell, like, why am I doing this? What's the reason? What's my belief on this? So the actual story is my fertility challenges made me a better listener. 250 folks were sitting in that room Thursday afternoon. It was a huge room. And just even 5 minutes before that, I was thinking, like, should I tell this? Or should I just fake a story and just do with my workshop? About 95% of the people in that room were strangers to me. I don't know them. I may have seen them, but I don't know them. Right? Somehow my wisdom guided me to do the 5-minute spiel story of my life, like why I became a passionate listener. Okay. It was not easy, right? Like my heart was racing because I have never, ever before 2016 August exposed to anybody in the world. The only people knew are my husband, my mom, dad, maybe my brother a little bit, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law a little bit. That's it. Suddenly I opened up to 250 people. It's only for 5 minutes. And what I saw that day was it was good to talk about that. And I saw people, I could see, because I was standing a little bit in it's not a big podium, but it was, I can see the whole floor. I was in a little bit of a raised place. Everybody was like kind of sitting like, what the heck is this kind of a deal? Because at the Agile conference, you don't talk about infertility, right? And I saw people tearing up. I saw people were wiping their tears. Nobody left the room. People typically sit in the back. If any of you have been to the conference, you know there are round tables in the back. They typically sit in the back because that's an easy escape. If you don't like it, you can just go outside, right? Without really walking through the awkward, awkward walk throughout the hall. But I saw nobody walked out that whole presentation. That, of course, I went into my passionate listening and I did my workshop. But then I reflected back on that and I realized, what did I just do? Right? I embraced a part of me that I have really hidden so well for such a long time. And it was not bad. After that, people came to me, they gave me hugs, they told me how incredibly powerful my first 5 minutes was, right? And other comments which I don't remember anymore. Right? But the important part was, that was the first time I exposed a part, a secret in me that I was holding for such a long time. And the world did not come to an end for me. Actually, the world was extremely supportive. Incredibly supportive. Right? And that was the first time. And the next year, I decided to start focusing a little bit on serving people going through fertility, just like me. Okay. And I wrote a post in LinkedIn. If we are connected in LinkedIn, you should be able to see that post. Claiming my niche, something like that. That was to like close to 5,000 connections. It's not 250 people, and this will be in LinkedIn. Somehow I found that courage and said, like, you know what? It's not about me anymore. It's about the other people that I want to serve and support, the voice. As soon as I hit publish, I had this oh shit moment. What did I do? Okay. But then again, the world did not swallow me. I got incredible support from the community at large. There were many people messaging me saying, like, Pradeepa, I wish I knew 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I wish, my parents knew you because they struggled through this. I wish, I want to share, your information to my sister-in-law or sister or whatever. Like, so many personal messages started floating in, right? And that's when I realized, I kind of evolved from hiding something so deeply and personal because I was so ashamed of it to expose it. Hey, here I'm a professional, I'm successful, I'm supposed to be whatever, perfect. There should not be any flaws. What if they think, right? What if they find out that I'm faking it? How would that affect me, right? It was not easy. It was a journey. It was not easy. But when I stepped into that, when I embraced that courage, right, and then I felt a sense of freedom that I never felt before. Because now I don't have to hide anything. from anybody. This is who I am. Right? So that striving for perfection slowly start to dissipate. So I want to stop there and I want to hear from you. How is that resonating with you in your own life, like from your own experiences and perspectives? Yeah.
So Pradeepa, I after listening to you, I remember my own story. So I'm also from India. So it has been 7 years. Me shifted to Dallas, Texas, and before 7 years, I was struggling with similarly same problem. It's called as infertility. So one of my doctors, he said, he was a very good gynecologist. He said that, you know what, Alka, you can never have kids. If you have, but if you have, or if you conceive also, you'll never go through. And that was something which I could totally relate with you. And that those were like a year and a half, which I was struggling to conceive. And I somehow end up being with a positive note because I had my in-laws, they were too positive towards like, just give a try, don't take stress, it's okay, you know, they used to be open up to me. And when you talk about like just embarrassing what you're scared of and talk to everyone, that was what it made me to turn out to be positive. And guess what? After shifting to US, after being like again struggling for 6 to 7 months, I conceived twins. And even in that, the doctor used to be like, let's be safe aside. You might know that you might lose one, but let's be safe aside. And that being positive, saying that, no, I want to take my journey in such a way that let it be like a positive. I want to try to be with the person, with my baby, at least till the end moment. If I'm not getting it, I mean to say, basically, if I don't deliver it, at least I would be staying with it for a little moment of it. So it was always that positivity which took place. So along with that, I would say seriously, when I delivered it, it was the cry which came. I was like, let me tell the whole world that being positive and being encouraging yourself and opening things out, what fears you, would actually give you a positive result. It will never take you to a negative path or a scare fear. It would always embrace you. People would admire listening to your story rather than doing anything. So that's what it reminded me. But yeah, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing yours. Appreciate that. And congratulations on the twins.
Thank you. They are now 5 years old. So enjoying spending time with them. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome. What else? What else is coming for you? Yes.
I really appreciate you sharing these stories. And I think there is something, and this is something I've been thinking about a lot too lately, is just it seems like it should be so simple to share our authentic selves, but it's not when it comes down to it. And maybe it's good that you're calling out these moments of vulnerability, and really truly that is, and I think you were, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but I think when you were saying it comes from us first, and you're right, I think that we are in some sort of reflective universe in a way, and I do believe that we get what we give in a lot of ways. And so I think you're right that, you know, I can blame my parents for me being so self-critical, but ultimately it's my choice now, and how do I make that shift. And so I think you sharing your authentic self and sharing a struggle that, you know, so many people could probably relate to, that's just really powerful. And I'm feeling like it's very encouraging, and I don't know how to apply it to my own life now, but I wanted to thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trust me, I blamed everybody. Right? I blamed myself. I blamed God. Sometimes I blamed my parents. Why did you bring into the world like this with a faulty system? right? I actually stopped praying and going to temples for 4 years in a row because I was angry at some point, right? I'm originally from India, and India is known for many amazing things along with its population too, right? So coming from India, not being able to have a child, that itself is a big, like, what the heck? I've never heard about infertility growing up. That's how naive I was, because everybody around me, that was easy. It only hit me when I have to go through this. And that's another reason why I was incredibly ashamed. Like, how come everybody is able to do it and I can't? Right? It's basically a competition for me at some point, right? That's how it felt. The jealousy came out of that. Like, why can't it be me? Why is it others? How is it fair? Right? Because I started asking those questions. I used to tell my clients, like, it was like I was walking around with this big question mark on my head. Why me? Why me? Why not me? Why did you choose me to be this way? What did I do? Right? The craziness goes beyond, and I used to think, like, what did I do in my previous life? That's how crazy thinking goes. Because there are some questions that are not going to give you any answers whatsoever. Right? And accepting that as is, this is it. Right? This is me. This is what is set for me. And not trying to find an answer where knowing that there is no answer, not knowing, of course, I was looking for an answer in a place where there's no answer. Right?
I have a, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Oh, did you feel like when you told the story, was it releasing? Like, do you think that you cleared some of that blockage within you to let in the solution?
Every time when I start sharing, the first time was in Atlanta, right? It didn't happen the first time completely. But every time when I opened it through different mediums, through talking to different people, through coaching, right? Slowly, I'm able to heal myself, right? Because there was a lot of pain that I was holding on to that didn't allow me to love myself. Because I thought that part of me is not worthy of love. Okay? So every time when I talk about that, I still get a little bit, that doesn't mean that I haven't. I have seen the light. This is just a reflection, right? Like when I reflect back, realizing how much painful it was. And going through that with no support was incredibly painful. When I say no support, the way that I wanted it. Right? I used to say this to some of my clients. I wish I had a Pradeepa back then, a coach. My life would have been different. Most importantly, my attitude would have been different, no matter what the outcome was. Outcome is going to be whatever the outcome is. Even today, medically, I'm considered infertile. But the misery, my attitude, my sourness, that could have been dealt differently. How I went through my journey. That is something I could have controlled, right? Like I could have taken a different perspective, a different chance. I didn't know. I didn't have anybody at that time. I didn't know about coaching.
So Pradeepa, just wanted to, just pause there at the coaching, space, right?
Yeah.
You're a leadership coach. You're engaged with several Agile organizations, and you have several clients, right? In the Agile organizations or otherwise. Which areas or what elements of your journey are relevant to your coaching today? Or in other words, what are you bringing to Agile coaching or leadership coaching or executive coaching that you are inferring from your journey? How are you leveraging
myself, right? My whole self is what I'm bringing to any conversations, right? Any interactions, any relationships, right? When I started, really embracing my own self, all my imperfections, so-called imperfections, I started coming from the place of power. That was, now reflecting back on it, it can seem weird. Like, how can you come from a place of power from the imperfection? But that's what happened to me. Because now I'm very liberated. I don't have to hide any part of me. This is who I am, and this is how I show up. Right? And I will continue to grow. Right? I invest heavily in myself, in my own growth. I pay $10,000s and $10,000s of dollars for my own coaching. Okay? But that's just a part of my growth. Right? Just because I'm being coached doesn't mean that that's how I will show up. The showing up is my own transformation. Right? I started showing up in a way where I'm not worried about the other players in the system. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I'm not jealous of anybody on their own success or whatever. And I'm very comfortable in my own skin. Okay? And that comes because of the transformation that I'm going through within me. Because of the embracing part. And when I show up, it's not just because I'm faking confidence or whatever. No. That confidence is coming from within me. And that's what I'm exhibiting outside. Right? I get real with people. Padmini, you mentioned the Facebook post that I put earlier today, right? It was a wonderful insight from one of my amazing clients. We just had a coaching conversation yesterday evening, and she wrote that basically I called her bullshit. Okay? I don't dilly-dally around stuff. Okay? Do it in a compassionate manner, but that's the power. Okay? Telling people what other people are not telling them. Especially powerful people. Right? When I say powerful people, people with fancy titles, higher up in the chain. Okay? Okay. That's the difference. Not just because Pradeepa likes to go and say things like that, no. Right? The part that I said about I don't care, yeah, I don't care. what they think of me. Because I have a purpose. And if I'm a coach, I'm going to coach you. If I have to tell you stuff that you're not seeing, of course, I'll ask for permission first. And most people are curious. What do I have to say? And then I just give to them.
Hey,
Yes, ma'am.
Pradeepa, I'm going to stop you. I think some folks have questions.
Yes.
Yeah. So does anybody have questions? I had my hand raised.
Meghna had one too. So you
Who-
or
who-
Meghna.
Meghna, go for it if you have a question, and I'll go next.
Okay, I think that was something that I typed a while ago. So I often struggle with fixing parts of myself that I drag along with me to show myself up. I have come to a point where, like, now do I have to fix myself, because it's been a constant struggle. How do I accept myself the way I am, so.
Yeah, right. So maybe a question for you to explore. It's not a straight answer here, right? Like it's not this way or that way. A question for any of you, if you're interested in this, to explore is, what's driving you to really think that you have to fix something?
Being judged, being blamed.
I want you to not answer me.
Oh.
It's not a Q&A. I'm not asking you to just answer me, but this is something that I want you to explore, right? Take this question as a homework and explore on this, because the surface answer is never the right answer, right? This is where I want you to go deeper.
Yeah.
Right? What needs fixing? Where is that coming from? Right? What's your belief around that? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not, right? Like maybe somebody said, Andrea said it may be a limiting belief. I don't know. Right? If you have an opportunity to work with the coach, go for this question with them.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I often struggle to not show my authentic side. Like I like to show my vulnerable side. Most often sometimes I come across as too strong for some people, because oftentimes it's considered weakness, or or she's coming across too strong, So, and that way I'm retracting back into my shell, and it's still a battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I mean, you're not showing up in my screen, so I don't know your name. Otherwise, I would address you by your name.
Oh, this is Meghna. Actually, I have.
Meghna.
Yeah, my dog is just.
No problem. Meghna, I have something for you, right? Do you think, because this is Pradeepa way of showing up, everybody in the world is kumbaya and accept and like and agree? Probably not. Right? There are going to be many people who don't like the way that I show up. Right? And that's completely fine with me. Right? It's again that growth for me.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, it's not an overnight switch. I've been on this journey for a while now, 7+ years. And I will continue to. Right? And that's okay. There will be some people who may align with what I'm saying. There may be some people who may not align with who I am and what I have to represent. one doesn't lift me and one doesn't put me down. Just because 50 people are clapping hands is going to really lift me and say like, yay. And when 20 people are booing me, oh man, no, either one is fine with me, right? Because it's up to me on who I want to be at that time.
Right.
Right. When I wrote my first book, Infertility Can Suck Less, you can check it out in Amazon. There was maybe a 2-star or my first 3-star review or second 3-star review that really put me down, actually, because the person who wrote that review said, until then I got like all glorious reviews, let's put it that way, right? This person said like, it's a glorified pamphlet. Is nothing more than a glorified pamphlet. That's what this is about, right? And he went on about like big, criticizing different aspects of the book, right? And what I realized was I was upset when I saw that because I put my heart and energy into it. I was really upset when I read that review. But then down the line, my own growth, made me to realize the aha moment that I got that if there are 70 people who liked, there are 70 people who are not going to like what I have to say. Right? If I get excited and cheered by these 70 people, will I get, do I have to go hide for this 70 people from this side? What I realized was, I'm not going to give my power away to anybody. The power is I own myself, right? If I give my power away to somebody, that's when the other person can make you feel a certain way, or you feel like they have control over you. And I've been that, right? And the incredible feeling, the liberation, the realization that I got from even like with my first book and the review is, there's always going to be some critiques in your life, always.